Good evening, everyone. I am Angela Gegg, and you're watching Angie Live in Dubai. I'm broadcasting from the Vuzal TV studios right here in Media City, Dubai, for a special edition where I'm covering the Beirut situation. Having a media platform gives me a personal responsibility to use my voice and give back to society. I use my voice to send messages to our viewers, and I give back to society by inviting local businesses, entrepreneurs, influencers, artists, celebrities, and activists onto the show. In the wake of the Beirut explosion, the entertainment theme of today's show must change, and we will be discussing Lebanon and the explosion that happened just yesterday. An explosion which was devastating and has caused the capital to enter into a state of emergency. The explosion comes at a sensitive time for Lebanon. With COVID-19 infections on the rise, hospitals were already struggling to cope. Now they're faced with treating thousands of injured people. The blast killed at least 100 people and injured more than 4,000 others. Lebanon imports most of its food, and large quantities of grain stored in the port have been destroyed, causing fears and adding to the economic crisis. Rescue workers in Lebanon are still searching for more than 100 people who are missing after this devastating explosion. The whole city was shaken by an explosion. A mushroom cloud could be seen spreading over the port area. The footage I'm going to show you is sensitive in nature, but it's being seen across the globe, and we must do what we can to spread the word and help our friends in Lebanon. Take a look at the incidents that occurred just yesterday.
What? 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 Bro! I'm good.
Come. What is it?
That footage was not easy to see, but it's the reality of the situation. The blast was even felt 150 miles away on the island of Cyprus in the eastern Mediterranean, with people saying that they thought it was an earthquake. I'm joined remotely with Paloma. She's a communications specialist based in Lebanon. She works with humanitarian cases and success stories and with NGOs on social issues. She's joining me and my viewers tonight to discuss the situation in Lebanon and her personal experience with the explosion that happened yesterday. In the studios with Paloma when we get back from this short commercial break. All right, guys, I am joined in the studios with Paloma, all the way from Beirut, Lebanon. She'll be sharing her experience and what they have been going through over there. Paloma, thanks so much for joining me on the show tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's great to get a first-hand, conversation going with someone who was there. So again, thank you for joining us. I know this is not an easy incident and not an easy situation and time for you in Lebanon. So I'd like to start by you just telling us about your experience and what you're going through right now.
I was fortunately at home when all happened. I just want to say that my house is like 30 minutes far from the port of Beirut.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading the book, and suddenly my dog was barking really weird.
Mm-hmm.
Building was shaking. I heard a boom, very, very high boom. My ears were buzzing. I ran on the balcony So that's why at first I thought it was a war,
Right.
the start of a war.
Of course. Now, you say you live 30 minutes from the port and you still felt the house shaking?
Yes, it was the worst explosion that happened in Lebanon. I've experienced explosions before, it's not the first time. I've experienced war before, bombing, but it was literally the worst. My parents were in Beirut, in Zaidan, 10 minutes apart from the port. My mom was a mall, it's very famous,
Mm-hmm.
and she told me she felt like she flew.
Wow.
All the stuff flew in the mall, and they flew on each other. Yeah, thank God nothing happened to them, but a lot worse happened around the port and the Ashuri Gate and Greater Beirut.
Right. And I would just like to share with my viewers, we don't have the best connection, which my viewers should need to understand because there's a lot of chaos happening in Beirut, in the capital, in Lebanon, and the internet is going crazy. So please forgive us. We are trying to communicate as best as we possibly can for you. And Paloma, she's been very patient as well with getting on this interview with us here today. So Paloma, thanks for that. Paloma, President Donald Trump has gone on the record saying that this was an attack. It was not an accident. What do you think?
Uh, Actually, we thought at first that it was an attack.
Hmm.
We still think we still think it's an attack, but the government is denying.
Hmm.
They are saying it's an accident, that they have chemicals, materials in the container and the port, and because of fire, it exploded.
Right.
Actually, for me, an accident is far worse than an attack.
Hmm.
But it shows that the government is not really responsible. They're saying the material were in the port since 2016.
Right.
So, and no one knows why it's still there and why we have chemical material at the port.
Right.
So we are really, really confused and we are not believing anything they are saying.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. If I was in your situation, I would be terribly confused myself, and I can't imagine what you and all of our friends in Lebanon must be going through right now. As I understand, there's still over 100 missing people.
Till now, maybe more. We are very devastated. We woke up this morning, I think everybody was crying, not only me.
Mm-hmm.
We are heartbroken because it was the cherry on top.
Right.
I can really say.
Right. I understand there's some firefighters who showed up at the initial explosion and they've all just disappeared. Do you have any information on what's really going on?
Well, we have groups online that are sharing pictures and asking everyone if they seen those people in the hospitals or around.
Mm-hmm.
There are 17 firefighters.
Wow.
They came when the fire, it was like 15 minutes. After that, it was the bombing.
Wow.
So don't know. They are still here, and they are young men and women, between 5 years old. So
Mm.
it was really hurting, and really we hope their parents are being okay with it and patient.
Mm. Well, our prayers absolutely go out to all of the people affected by this. I mean, it's not an easy situation. Lebanon has been affected by COVID. We've had big riots. You've been economically, you're in crisis. I mean, this is, like you said, I think it's a cherry, and it's, our prayers are definitely with all of our friends in Lebanon.
Yeah, we've been having issues a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
but it really started to hurt. In fact, a few months ago when we did the revolution,
Right.
the dollar is now worth 8,000 Lebanese pounds. It was 1,500 Stuff from outside. Our food and everything from raw materials are based on export and
Right.
import.
Right.
So our port now is gone. We don't know when we will fix it. Lots of companies had materials at the port from food, from hospital materials, medicine, supplies, and it's all gone. And even our wheat is gone. We can't produce bread anymore. We already had an issue with this because we couldn't import raw material to produce the bread and other food. But now, I don't know what you will do.
It's devastating to say the least. I would like to share with our viewers some pictures up on the screen, and maybe you can walk us through the photos. I'm going to share a sequence of photos here now, quite a few of them. If you can tell us a little bit, maybe.
Yes,
This is the actual port, right?
those pictures were taken by a friend of mine. His name is Fadi Badran. I couldn't reach Beirut today because they are saying also that there's those chemicals from the explosion that would hurt us, or we cannot breathe it, or it cannot touch our skin.
Right.
Still, but he was around there. It's basically between the port and Junaidi. Junaidi is a small street in Beirut where you have lots of restaurants and clubs, and it still has its old and vintage appearance, the building, and really like a hidden gem in Beirut that you really love because it's really it's culture and history.
Right.
And now it's gone. It's basically underground, nothing.
Yeah, these pictures are tremendous. I mean, they're just very. I am not usually at a loss for words, but I really am now looking at these images and trying to imagine what the people must be feeling and going through, who live there, who have seen this, who are experiencing this, and you yourself, being from there. So, I mean, thanks for joining me. Thanks for sharing this. This is we are going to take a short commercial break, and I'll be back with you, Paloma, in just a few. I do want to discuss more about, the revolution. I'd like to talk about the government focus, the Lebanese people, and so much more. Stay tuned, guys at home. We will be back with Paloma after a short commercial break. Back in the studios for a special edition of Angie Live in Dubai. We are covering the Beirut situation today. We're talking about the tragic explosion that happened yesterday. I'm joined in the studios with Paloma. She's joining me remotely from Lebanon. Paloma, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Paloma, I'd like to ask you, the situation before the explosion. You said there's been a revolution happening. Why don't you tell myself and my viewers watching, we want to tell the world what's happening in Lebanon, what has been happening, and of course, we're going to get to how we can help.
It's definitely not only in 2019 nor 2020. We had lots of economical issues before, corruption in the country. We were barely surviving until we couldn't handle it anymore. So we did a small revolution, and it started, I think, 17th of October. Because the dollar was going higher. I don't really know about economics, but what I know is that everything was so expensive. So now, if you want to go to the supermarket, you can't buy simple stuff, milk for the children. It is times 3, 4, or 5 the price before. And then we had COVID-19, and we closed the country for 3 months.
Wow.
We were barely surviving. I don't know now how the restaurants, how the shops, how the companies will rebuild. Also, human losses, but the economic crisis is huge now. What we want as a people is for other countries who really want to help us to send us food, raw material and material and supplies for hospitals.
Right, right,
We really need those things like bandages, gloves. We don't have anymore here because yesterday everybody was at the hospitals. We lost two hospitals as well.
right.
And that's what they are saying at the news that we are missing basic materials at the hospital.
Yes, and I understand that even before the explosion, the hospitals were overrun with COVID patients and having a hard time keeping up. So now, with the loss of two hospitals, on top of that, material and supplies that were actually at the port has been just extremely devastating for not just the capital, but the entire country of Lebanon.
Yeah, because of the issue of dollar, we had the problem with materials to the hospital.
Right.
And we have hospitals that are they have COVID-19 patients. So we are overwhelmed. We don't have places for people who are hurt. And yesterday they only took the critical cases.
Right.
Other people who had minor injuries went to clinics.
Right, right. I understand too. A lot of children are being found, so they're assuming that the death rate and is actually a lot higher than what's being reported in the media. Can you confirm and or deny this that I'm hearing out of people in Lebanon?
I don't know. I can confirm nor deny. No one knows anything for sure. Lots of rumors also.
Right.
But I know that yes, lots of people were hurt, lots of kids were hurt, lots of people lost their houses, their homes. I'm pretty sure there's more and more. We will find out every day what's going on. Hopefully, we won't see more losses.
There's a website, I think it's helplebanese.org, where you guys as a people, no matter how devastated you are, you're all coming together to help and offer aid and offer assistance. So regardless of what you're going through, you have all come together from what I can see online. Can you tell me how you feel about your people coming together, offering care to one another?
Yes, and it is not the first time. Lebanese people were always known to come together in crisis because the lack of the government help. So lots of people opened their homes, gave their extra houses to people who lost their homes.
Right.
Also, they are donating food, free food for everyone who is in need. We created the websites online, pages online on Instagram, on Facebook. So Liban Truck and the website you mentioned also, where people who want to donate or want to put an ad that they are helping, other people can put it in one place. So we can all stand by each other and help each other.
Amazing. That is that's the only heartwarming thing about the situation is as a people uniting and coming together to help.
Well, I think we can be very, very united, especially in crisis and especially when we are happy as well.
Yes.
But it's the politics that show a picture that Lebanese people are not united. But if you see the videos and the pictures yesterday, everybody was helping everybody. They were climbing stairs, even if the building were gonna collapse, helping people, holding women, putting people in other people's cars to get them to the hospital.
Yes, yes.
People are giving their cars to other people so they can use it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's been some incredible images online and motorcycles taking everybody just doing their part to help and to get help for those that were injured. So that says an awful lot about the people. They're not running away from it, they're running to it to help their brothers and sisters in Lebanon. Paloma, if you could tell the world something about your country, what would it be? If you wanted the world to know something about Lebanon, aside from this tragedy, something positive, what would that be?
amazing food, amazing energy. We have the culture that loves to live, loves to party. Um, we always fall and we always stand up despite everything that's been happening to us for the past 30 years. We are people that comes together and stand back on its feet.
Absolutely.
And hopefully this time we will put our hands together and change the whole situation.
Yes, that's absolutely wonderful to hear. And I completely agree with you. I've been to Lebanon myself, and I absolutely agree with everything you said. Wonderful people, just the vibe is completely different. So it's great. This is a very sad and devastating situation, but I know as a people you will come together, and you'll come out of this stronger.
Yes, like every time.
Absolutely. Paloma, any final words for our viewers watching today?
I just want to thank everyone who is willing to help, and please we need help on the ground. So if you want to help financially, send us supplies. We need supplies and raw materials.
Right.
Hospitals need it. This is what we really need.
Right. Right. Amazing. And thank you to you for being a guest on my show today and for helping me to get the message out there, so to let people understand what's going on and to let them know how they can help.
Thank you so much, and I hope I will be on your show in better circumstances.
Absolutely. I would love to have you back on the show. What you do work-wise is incredible. Your work with the NGOs, you're a humanitarian. People like you, there needs to be more of you in the world. So thank you so much, Paloma, for joining me, for giving us some insight, for talking to us about the tragedy that has struck the capital of Lebanon.
Thank you.
Guys at home, thanks so much for joining me here on Angie Live in Dubai. As you know, this was not my usual spunky show. This was a special edition about the situation in Beirut. It's of the utmost importance that we spoke about it. So I needed to bring that into the show today here live from our studios at Vuzel TV. That is all the time that I have for today. If you would like to help, please go to www.helplebanese.org. I am broadcasting live from our studios right here in Media City for Vuzel TV. I am Angela Gegg. I'll see you next time, same place.
It's a